All right, welcome to the live stream. So I will first of all welcome everyone to this live stream. And yeah, we have also today a special guest. He's already here, so you can already see him. And yeah, so let's start. Before we start with this whole live stream, I want to say at the end there will be a giveaway. There are 3 prizes that you can win. The first one is you can win a 12-week Flutter training that we offer on our heyflutter.com website. This is the first prize. You get a t-shirt, so that's exactly this t-shirt that I have here right now on. And you get also like live calls with Flutter experts. So if you stay until the end, then you have the chance to win this. There's also a second winner and a third winner. The second winner wins the 6-week training and also a t-shirt, and the third winner wins the 3-week training and also a t-shirt. And all you need to do for this, you need to just go to the comments and write "Hey Flutter" with a hashtag and write your comment, and then you later can win something. So we will take all the comments that you have written, and if you write a comment hashtag "Hey Flutter" inside, then you directly will participate in this giveaway. All right. We also have another surprise at the very end of this live stream. So if you stay until the very end, there's another surprise for you. And yeah, it's a big thing, so stay until the end, then you also get the surprise. Okay, so I guess we start by introducing, first of all, our team. So I want to introduce our team because I'm not alone doing this. Of course, we are heyflutter.com. We are right now a team of people. And yeah, I think maybe we start with someone who wants to start. Maybe Kamlesh, can you like introduce yourself? And
Hello everyone, and my name is Kamlesh, and I'm the Flutter developer having around 3 years of experience. So in this Hey Flutter team, I create YouTube videos, also create YouTube courses, and create courses for our platform as well. Apart from that, I train people inside this 12-week training, Flutter training. So yes, that's what I do in this team, and it's really good to have in this team. It's been like 1.5 year since I have joined this team. That's about myself.
yes. Um, who wants to else introduce themselves? Maybe Raman, can you introduce yourself?
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ramin. I'm from Afghanistan and I'm a Flutter developer for almost 3 years. I joined this Hey Flutter team around 1.5 year ago. And in this team, I'm creating YouTube videos and also working on creating courses in our platform.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah. So Raman and Kamlesh are doing like a lot for the courses, also for the courses that you see on the 12-week Flutter training. So they are like a big part of it, which we have done for 1 year right now. We have worked on this 12-week Flutter training, and we have done like a lot of work in this time. Okay, so we have 3 more people. Harris, do you want to introduce yourself? What are you doing in our team?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so my name is Haris Atik, and I have been working with Hey Flutter team for around a year now, and I am in the team as a course instructor. And the most thing I liked about this team is the learning opportunities are vast. Like we try to create the courses that provide value to everyone, that support our community. And yeah, I am here for you guys. Like we all try to provide so much value for you. So that's it.
Yes, right. Then we have like 2 more people. Sajad, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Okay, of course. Hello, everyone. I'm Sujat from Pakistan. I'm a front-end developer having 5 years of experience. And apart from that, I have been working with the Flutter team for almost 1 year as a YouTube manager. And I'm managing YouTube channel and content along with that. And also, I'm creating YouTube videos and courses about Flutter. So that's all about me. I'm doing all this with the Flutter team.
Yes, correct. And of course, we have like many more people in our team right now, but we have like only right now 6 here in our live stream. I think that's enough for now. Jitesfa, you can also introduce yourself. What are you doing in our team? And
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Yetasfa. I am from Ethiopia. I do have Flutter experience for 4 years experience of working with Flutter. In Hey Flutter, I will create YouTube videos and also I will create course videos, and I will also like mentor other junior developers who are going to join Hey Flutter team. I have worked with Hey Flutter for around like 2 years now, and like I enjoyed this team. I have learned a lot, and yeah, it is a good place to be here.
yes. Okay, so you got to know like now everyone or like part of the team that is behind heyflutter.com. There are like so many more people because we also do like development in our team, software development, where we develop for different clients in the world. And there are also, of course, developers that are not right now joining, but these are like the people that you see here right now that are mainly doing courses and YouTube videos for this YouTube channel. All right, so I think we come right now to the next point. We have the special guest that we introduced already, Hajit. Let's go here to this slide. Yes, Majid Hajian. I'm sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. Okay, so can you maybe introduce yourself? Like, what have you
Sure.
done in the past with Flutter?
Hello, everyone. First of all, let me say that it's a pleasure to be on this channel. Such an amazing team. I was surprised to see how many people are behind this channel. So it's definitely a pleasure to be here. Congrats for this 100K subscription. My name is Majid. I am now working as head of DevRel at Invertase, and I've been using Flutter since it was beta, maybe around 5 years ago. And I am one of those who are doing a lot in the community. You perhaps see my name in like different areas such as GDE, Google Developer Expert. I am one of them. I run conferences around the world such as Flutter Vikings, FlutterCon, and a bunch of others. And I'm also one of the admins of Flutter community, which we are doing a bunch of stuff for community, including Hump Days Q&A every week, Wednesday, and a lot of open source, for example, plus plugins, perhaps you've used in one of your projects.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. We got like some questions from the community that we like to answer together. We can look at it. So let me see. Okay, yeah, of course, you can also check out his Twitter channel, Majid Hajian. There you find him. And I think he's like really active for the Flutter community, so you can check him also out. And yeah, we got some questions from the Flutter community that we like to answer. So the first one is, what are some of the best Flutter code practices a newbie should follow? And yeah, we can discuss like what are some good practices. I can also show, I guess, my, oh, does it work? Hopefully. Yeah, I think this works. I can show also my IDE. We can go over some of the coding practices as a newbie. And I think from my perspective, because we have also trained like different kind of people in our 12-week training, and we have learned like a lot what newbies do wrong and what there is like, what especially like completely new Flutter developers that don't know. So one thing is what I saw a lot, I don't know why it is still the case, but the formatting issue, like a lot of Flutter developers don't know how to format the code correctly. Because usually if you save your file, then it should automatically restructure your code. And for example, in VS Code, you could like go to your user settings and, oh, maybe I go slower. I'm sorry. So let's go here. You can type preferences, user settings, JSON, and yeah, here inside of it, you can add some things to the Dart level. One of them is here this edit format on save. So usually you should turn it on. You can also turn this on while you type. You can also format the code. That's fine. And yeah, if I did, I guess, let me go here back. I save everything. I hope my IDE will work now. Yes, as you can see, he will then, every time when you save this file, he will automatically restructure your code. I saw like many people don't have it inbuilt, this kind of thing, and it's not good. So you should always just save your file and not do any manual things here. That's not so good. Another thing that I think newbies should know is how to refactor the code. Like, for example, if you have really long files, it's not so good to read. So you can always refactor like things into different methods, into different widgets. That's what newbies not always do. So it's better always to extract it, for example, to a different method, and whatever this method is then doing, you give it a name, and then it is like separated in a different method. Yeah, and I guess the normal thing what newbies also know most of the time, that you can wrap widgets around some other widgets. So for example, here I can go and wrap it with another widget, and I can directly write it here. I can also click here and again, I guess usually it works that you can remove the widget again. Maybe it's, let's go here. Yeah, here usually you can also remove this widget, and these are like little shortcuts from my side. Yeah. So do you also have any tips from your side? I mean, you have also done a lot with Flutter probably, so do you have like any tips? I mean, it doesn't need to be visually right now on the screen, but do you have like any things what newbies maybe should know, or how to guide them through Flutter?
Yeah, definitely. I think what you've shown right now, it just remind me that probably newbie need to be a little bit familiar with maybe official styling guide of Dart, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So especially if they are familiar with that, then they're gonna be familiar with these, tips that you gave right now, and they see a lot of tips in their code editor. Like for example, when they need to use cons constructor, so the editor, the analyzer, the plugin that they install on their editor, usually they give them these kind of tip as well, right? And you've been actually showing an interesting tip regarding this comma for formatting, the trailing comma. And I have to mention there is an interesting issue open right now that Dart team, hopefully in the near future, gonna add this to the compiler also, like to the sorry, not the compiler, to the analyzer, so you get that automatically. So you don't even need to remember, oh, I have to now have this comma. If it makes sense to have a comma, then it will be added automatically for you. This is an open issue. If you really like that, find it on Dart project and give a thumbs up, so they hopefully implement it for us. Another thing I want to mention about these newbie things that you said, you also been like wrapping your main widget, which it was showing the theming. I've seen a lot of developers are using like directly coloring or formatting or fonts and these kind of stuff in the widgets, rather using them in the theme on the higher level of the application theme data, right?
Yes.
So I guess these are one of the things that probably also we need to be familiar in the very beginning, because, well, you make it way more maintainable when you come to this approach, rather going, and if you want to change like a button to red, go to the button and change it to red, So maybe you want to demonstrate this, Johannes.
I'm not demonstrating, I'm not running right now any app, but I can only show like you have here like a lot of customization in the material app theme. Here you usually define how your whole app looks like, and yeah, so you have like a lot of customization. You can define button theme. for everything, all the colors in your whole app, how it should look like. So it's like really powerful, and you can have a look. Instead of writing all the colors, text styles, whatever you have, I think even here text theme is really powerful, where you can define all the text themes of your whole application. There are like a lot of different text styles that you can use, and you define it in one single place and not in everywhere in your whole app and on all screens, because that's not so good. Yeah, that's a really good tip. You also mentioned before there are some guidelines that they should follow. I can also show you something more about this. So, for
Yes.
example, the Dart effective guidelines, is really important to follow them. You can go to effective Dart, and here, maybe I do it smaller. So the effective Dart guidelines, there are like a lot of different do's and don'ts that they show what you should do in your code and not. And unfortunately, like I guess many developers don't know about it. So it will be really helpful, because here's like a list of all the do's and don'ts, which is really long. You can go like crazy about them, almost like there's so much. But yeah, it's really helpful. By the way, we have also created, if I go here to the Hey Flutter website, we have also created like a course for it. It's not directly for beginners, but in case you want to learn more about Flutter, how to write really good Flutter code, you can also go here and learn more about writing clean Flutter code in 2 hours. So it's like really good. You can just go to heyflutter.com and just watch this course. And there you also learn most of these guidelines. Okay. Yeah, I think that was already a lot what we have learned here. So let's go back to our slides. Yeah, what are some best Flutter code practices? This is what we looked right now. Let's look at the next question. Yeah, this one is really interesting. Will Flutter succeed in building apps in the future like other cross platforms like React Native, for example? Or will it just survive for some years, or and then it's the end? I guess that's like a really typical question, because I hear it from so many Flutter developers. They are not sure if Flutter is the right thing or not. And yeah, what is your opinion about this one?
Indeed, this is a very common question. Like every conference I go, I travel a lot for Flutter communities, and I speak a lot. In fact, right now I'm in Stockholm for Flutter Friends tomorrow. So this question I get like very often, like, will Flutter survive, or like, will Google at the end kill this project? So no one knows, right? Let's start from here. But what I want to say here is that every project that starts, I know that Google has some kind of reputation of killing projects, right? But in software engineering, and also business next to it, this is quite like often happens to many companies. But Google, you hear them a lot because they are in the focus, right? So that after some time, either the software doesn't work anymore or the business cannot make anything out of it. However, Flutter is quite new. And when a project is quite new and community still is new, this question is raising quite a lot, because it's still smaller than the competitors. But just take a look at the last 3 years. I'm not even saying 5 or 6 years that Flutter started somehow. I've been in this community just last year until now. I believe the community simply, it just got doubled.
Yes.
Like, I know so many people, and just look at your channel. I remember when you had started this channel. So now you are 100K. This is like amazing. Like, a lot of people are coming to this, right? But does this guarantee that Google will not kill, or like, there is a couple of things we need to consider. One is that Flutter is, of course, is handled by Flutter in Google, like a Flutter team mainly, but it's an open source project. If you look back to other projects such as Cordova back in the time, if you are as old as me or as as experienced as me, like years ago. We had PhoneGap, Cordova, these projects. When they started, it was super promising, and like people used it until like recently. Well, recently the team said that they're not going to support, and they kind of depreciated. However, because it was community based, it was forked, and again, it's now surviving somehow. It's not as exciting as before, but it's still, people are building stuff with that. I guess, again, no one knows whether it like survive or not, but what we see in the pattern, the number of companies that are building apps with Flutter. I actually yesterday realized SAS, an airline in Europe, SAS. So this is a very big airline in Europe, and their application right now was refactored, completely rebuilt with Flutter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And this is super interesting. I realized that a bunch of IoT companies started using Flutter because Flutter enables them to simply approach to all of the customer on different platforms in just one single code base, right? Where it wasn't possible before. It's a great opportunity for them. Just imagine 5 years in business and development is not much. Maybe for developers it's a lot, but for business is not a lot. So we're just seeing the flourish of a lot of new project, amazing one with Flutter, and stay tuned for even more amazing one to come. To me, with all of these signs, all of the project that I see, the number of developers, the number of even jobs, so that I am seeing, I believe, yes, it will survive not a few years, but many years.
Yes, I think exactly the same thing. It will survive many years. And there are also like some trends. So you have talked in the beginning about some trends, what you can see over different years. How, for example, on Stack Overflow, they always have here Stack Overflow trends. And there you see how many tags Flutter, React Native, Kotlin, Swift UI, etc. have. And you can see also like the enormous growth, how many people ask questions on Stack Overflow about Flutter, which just shows and indicates already how much the community is still growing compared to, for example, React Native, which is this line here, or Kotlin. Okay, it's also growing, Swift UI, but Flutter, you see just how extremely it's growing, and there's so many people that like Flutter because it's easy. It's one code base. You can run it on all devices, Android, iOS, in Chrome, on TV, on everywhere. And that's just so powerful, and it's really easy to use. I also saw it a lot when I worked with different students. They really like it because it's so simple, and I think it's always really powerful that a lot of students like it. And if a lot of students like it, then somewhere the industry will more and more adapt. More companies join to Flutter and build their software with Flutter, which is really amazing. So I see this trend also. Okay, do you want to say anything more about it, or should we jump to the next question directly?
Let's jump to the next question.
Yes. Okay, that's a good question. Like, is there any roadmap to learning Flutter? So I think that's also like a common question. So where should I start? Where should I go? And yeah, do you have like some tips for, let's say, beginners who have never done anything with Flutter, or maybe some experience already? What should they follow that they can learn more about Flutter?
Well, one of the approach that I had and I have already also in my existing career is to learn by practice. So there are different roadmaps. Follow like, hey, Flutter channel. You get a lot of good like even content. You can learn from it. But I think, to me, if you want to learn, is just to define a project, like a pet project. Many developers have that, and start learning from there. Not a big one. Start small, and as you go, you will realize, oh, now I want to make a network call. Now, how can I do that in Flutter? This is just by itself, one part of the roadmap. So typically, how do you start a project? You start like that. Oh, I want to have dark mode and light mode. How can I do that with Flutter? So slowly you learn. However, there are a bunch of community-driven roadmap, and one of them is from one of the Flutter GDE Google Developer Expert, Alexander. He is Ukrainian, and he made a roadmap, Flutter roadmap, I guess it's a name, and it's on his GitHub, I believe. It gives you like a lot of steps in details where you need to start for newbies, and now you know more, you're intermediate, then where you should go, and then now you're advanced, what you should learn. And I like the roadmap. It's very detailed. It gives you a lot of detail in that chart. It's a very big chart. I guess this is something that you can take a look and be inspired. I'm not saying just follow that. I don't think necessarily. I mean, people should find what they are comfortable with when they are learning something and then follow that. However, everyone can be inspired, right? So they can read this roadmap, they can follow your channel and read your amazing content for sure. You have also, I guess, 12 weeks newsletter, which you enable developers to learn more, right, Johannes? So these are like the steps.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can also look at the roadmap, but before we do that, I want to go quickly back to the giveaway so that still people think about it. So if you write a comment, hashtag #HeyFlutter into the comments of this live stream, then you can win potentially the 12-week Flutter training that we have on our website, heyflutter.com, the 6-week training, or even a 3-week training. So we have 3 winners today. And yeah, just write hashtag #HeyFlutter, and then maybe you are the lucky one who wins this training. And also, of course, t-shirts you win, like I have here right now on #HeyFlutter. Okay, so about the roadmap, I think we can even go more in detail. You mentioned something, there are like roadmaps. I found here this roadmap right now. I don't know if you mentioned. This is another one. Okay. Yeah, here are like some tips what you can learn about Flutter, what is important. So we can also talk about it. Like there are different steps. For example, here the basics of Dart that you should learn. And here you see then directly what kind of things you can learn about Dart. You should learn about widgets, about working with images and so on. Design principles later you learn. This is also important to write better code. Working with APIs if you want to connect later to different APIs, RESTful APIs, GraphQL, and so on. And yeah, there are so many things, like you can just explore this whole file here. It's like on roadmap, Flutter roadmap. You can just Google it. Maybe we put also later the link inside, or someone puts the link in the comments. That would be also great. Then you also, of course, need to learn about the different state managements. Like there are different ones, provider, block, here Riverpod. What is your favorite state management? Do you have any? I think that's also a typical question. So
do you want to start that asking? That's really, I mean, I had a talk a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, talking about like how you should select an state management for your application. So I believe all of the solutions are created because they've seen some kind of needs. Because of that, they are created, right? So there is no like one great feature solution fits everything. So right.
Yes.
However, my personal approach is, so far, I am like a very big fan of Riverpod. It's super nice. I just love it. And I had even talks and like things about it before. And block is also like one of those that I started in the very beginning. I guess a few years ago, 4 years ago, it was like a hype. Like everyone was using block because literally we didn't have that much state management. But today we have so many options. I don't necessarily say people should like learn only one of them. I believe it's good to know like how they are working. At least take a look at the README and figure out the most well-known one. And when it comes to the project, then give it a try, see if you like it or not, your team likes it or not, and and depends on your team. Maybe you go to a project and they're using block, then learn block, and you go to another team and they're doing Riverpod, then learn Riverpod. So conceptually, they are doing the same thing. They're handling a state. They're just the approaches are different. So maybe sometimes only the syntax are different. So I think the two that you see right now, at least here, Riverpod and Block, are the two great ones indeed.
Yes, I absolutely agree to this. So in general, there are multiple state management solutions. You can choose what you like to do, or which one you like to take. There's not, every state management has advantages, disadvantages. But as you said, your favorite is Riverpod. So from my side, I also really enjoy Riverpod. We use it in the team for developing applications a lot in Riverpod nowadays. So provider, okay, that's the previous version of Riverpod, let's say. Yeah, it's also really good. You can also use it, but otherwise just upgrade to the Riverpod. That's also fine. Block, yeah. I think GetX, that might be also a good question because a lot of people use GetX. Have you any any thoughts on that one?
Well, let me say one thing about provider. So Remy is my colleague and also a great friend of mine in the
Yeah.
community. So I'm telling this because I actually heard from him directly. Do not use provider. If you want to choose and dependency injection management or even like a state management in general, straight away go to Riverpod if you are starting right now. So that's exactly what Remy told me, and I'm just telling you. Remy is the author of both. And so still he is supporting provider, but his plan is to make Riverpod as mature as possible and somehow just maintain the provider. That's it, right? That's one thing. Let's get back to GetX. Yeah, GetX.
GetX, yes.
A lot of controversial topic in the community that this is good, this is bad. Again, I don't have that approach. I usually zoom out and say, if something is created, maybe there is a need for that. Using some kind of solution, there's always like a trade-off. It's not like I use this and there's the perfect match. No, maybe there are lots of advantages and also disadvantages. I personally have not used GetX. It's just because the way that GetX approaches handling problems, let's say. I like to use a package that is just doing one thing. Like Riverbot is just doing dependency injection, and also because that's also part of the state management and state management. That's it, right? All the different things you need for that is there. Blocks the thing. GetX is doing multiple things. And it just makes, when you use GetX, it looks like you have now a type of abstraction in your application that makes your application very coupled, which at some point later, if you want to get away from that, it becomes very difficult because you coupled and decoupling later would be a bit hard. So that's why I have not used GetX, but I've seen a lot of people used it and they are enjoying that. I'm not saying this is bad or good. I'm saying my reason why I'm not using that. So, and also the way that GetX is handling the states and routing and stuff like that, engineering wise, I'm not a big fan of the way that they are doing that. That's the two reasons I'm not using that. But I'm not saying this is bad or good. Up to you. Give it a try. If you like it, go ahead. If you don't, go for something else.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, on our website, heyflutter.com, we train in all the main state management solutions, also Riverpod. So we also have a course about Riverpod and GetX. I mean GetX. I'm sorry. But you have mentioned already that they try to put so many things into one package. And this is the solution for everything, and they put like all the stuff together. So I also not prefer GetX, but yeah, it's used by many in the community. We cannot say that it's like a package that is not used. So I guess it's even one of the most used packages in the Flutter community, GetX. Yeah. But if you really want to do like, if you later apply for a job or something, I think it's not so commonly used GetX in different projects. There's more like Riverpod or Blog, for example, used. And if you want to get a job as a Flutter developer, then I would not directly recommend GetX. Probably there are also, of course, teams that work with GetX, but it's like much, much less compared to Riverpod, Blog, etc. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can look here more through it. Advanced Dart, yeah, you can learn more about Dart, of course. That's always important. Testing, this is like a big topic. I think it's done to less or like not everyone learns it or likes to skip this topic. So it's really important to learn also about testing, widget testing, to make sure that your application works fine. Later deploying your app to App Store, Play Store, that's also like really important. Having CI/CD so that you can automate this process of deploying your app to the different stores. Really cool, really helpful if you want to advance your Flutter skills or work in a bigger team, then it is a must simply. And yeah, I think this roadmap is really good. You can have a closer look and see what you still need to learn and what kind of topics you can learn next about, because I think that's not always clear. You learn like a bit about Flutter, you watch a course, and then you think, okay, what should I learn next? Yeah. Or what you also said, you go by project based. I think that's also good what you said before, that you just build like small projects, do it more practical, and then you just learn by doing basically, and not just watching courses and all this stuff. That's not so good, I guess. So even our training in 12-week training, we don't just give you courses. So we always help you that you get tasks and so on, that you learn more about doing everything practical, because I think it doesn't help to watch just YouTube, just watch courses. You always need to have this practical, that you learn it in a practical way and build directly your apps, and not watch too much videos, basically. Okay. Yeah, maybe we find also the other link that you have sent before. This other link you mentioned about GitHub, about the roadmap. It was
I
different,
said
right?
yes, chat. If someone can see that, maybe they can post it to the comments.
Yes, or we pin it later in the comments as a comment, then we find it probably. And we can pin then also both of these roadmaps. Okay. Yeah, I think that's like the last question that we have here. Is it possible to create big apps with Flutter, such as e-commerce or social network apps? Or is it only small apps that are built with Flutter? Can you build like performance applications and so on? So what is your
I guess
opinion?
it's not only possible, but also have been already created.
Yes.
So, like I can mention a couple of them. In the beginning of this live stream, I was mentioning about SAS airline in Europe, which is actually quite big. It's not an e-commerce, but it's a big app. We mentioned maybe if you search, you will find out about like eBay Motors. It's pretty big, actually, e-commerce app. I know there is a big tool store tools, like the home tools and these kind of things in UK, which their application right now, both Android and iOS, is built with Flutter. It's quite big one, to be honest. In UK, I think it's the first big tool chain in tool store in UK. And well, there's a bunch of others. I think Alibaba Group, which they have like AliExpress and like those, they have some e-commerce application. I don't know specifically which one. I think I need to research it to give you the link, but if you search, you will find them. I think even on flutter.dev website, if you go to flutter.dev/showcase,
Yes.
you will find their name over there. It's already over there. You can find a bunch of names. These are a big e-commerce app already built with Flutter.
Yes, we can look at this right now. So if you go to Flutter Dev/showcase, you find here like different apps, big apps also that are created with Flutter. So as you mentioned, Alibaba and eBay and so on, they are all here inside, and they have built like different kind of applications, Google Pay. So they are like big applications, and I think many of them are not even mentioned here. Like
No, absolutely.
yeah, but as you can see, there are already like bigger applications that are built with Flutter, and it's always growing this list. And yeah, so that's really great about Flutter, that a lot of companies adapt and also also try out Flutter and integrate it. And I think a lot of companies also move from other platforms, from native development, like when they have done before with Android, with Java, with Kotlin, or with Swift, they move then to Flutter because it combines like everything one code base. And yeah, that's really powerful. Okay, so right now, before we go to the surprise, I think we will like choose like some comments together. So I think we can do this together and can choose like the winners of the giveaway, because we have like 3 winners today. And for this, let me see, we use like a different tool. So we use this tool here, and I think we need to paste only this URL here inside, and we will choose some winners based on a keyword. I hope someone has written it inside. I have not checked now so much the comments, but let's see. Include replies we don't do, and let's see how many people we fetch. Okay, unknown error, please reload. Okay. In the worst case, we choose all of you, even if you have not written it. Let me try it again. Fetch. Keyword. Hey, Flutter, you can still post, of course. And let's see. Okay, there's some error. So maybe if it doesn't work, we need to choose manually. I hope it's not anything else. Okay, it seems to be not that easy possible. So I think I will then just choose winners directly in the live stream. So let me open a new window. So we will search for some people. Okay, we can also take, of course, now the people that post right now, or we can also look at, I think I will just randomly, I don't want to influence it, so I will just look away and just look here. This one, we start with the third prize. So Rafael Camargo, you just won the third prize. And yeah, let's see. So that was the start, I guess. So let's look at the end. You can all write still. So let's see who is winning. Now we get the second prize. So, okay, let me go here. And I think the second prize is here, this person. Buy to Gamer. You win the 6-week training on our website, heyflutter.com. And yeah, let's see further. The first prize, that's like a big thing. So let's see who's winning that. So I just do completely random. I don't know where I am landing. Okay, here. Tala Majid, you just won the first prize. Congratulations. So you win the whole 12-week training. You also get like some calls with, during our 12-week training, we have like calls with the participants every day. And you also get like some calls so that you can learn more about Flutter, and we help you in one-on-one calls, basically, how to learn more about Flutter. All right. Before we introduce yet now the last thing, like the last surprise, I want to introduce like what we also do. We not only do like YouTube, we are not only doing like courses, we also do like development. So we develop applications for different companies in the world that want to use Flutter. And I want to play a short video that just shows what we currently do in the team for development also. And there are some applications shown that we have developed in the past. All right, that was like a short introduction of different apps that we have developed in our team. We have done many more also, but this is like a short introduction. And yeah, we come now to the last thing, to the surprise of this live stream. And great that you all have been here till the end. So thank you very much. And of course, it's a great, great journey that we have done right now with 100,000 people that already subscribed to this channel. And of course, we will continue, and we want to build give much more value in the future. We have so many plans for the future. And yeah, as a surprise, you can learn more about a course that we now also open for you free on YouTube. We will upload this later to YouTube. And yeah, we release like a new course which is about Flutter and Firebase chat application. Maybe I put myself here to the top left corner. So yeah, directly after the live stream, you can also watch this whole course that we have created about Flutter and building a chat application with Firebase together. And I hope you will learn more about Flutter with this. And yeah, otherwise, I thank you very much for joining this live stream. So we have now already 1 hour almost this live stream. It was the first live stream for us, for the whole team. So hopefully we have not done too many mistakes. And if we did, maybe the next live streams can be better. And yeah, from the whole team, I can just say thank you very much for subscribing so many people, 100,000. That's just enormous. And we just thank you all for that. And yeah, thank you very much for attending this live stream, and have a great day.